Uh-oh. Whoa. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Oh, this is all new system. This is all new, this stuff. All right, let's hope this is working. Let's hope it's all working. Hey, it's Tim with the Y here, and welcome. Yesterday, I promised you guys that we're going to do 28 days of emotional mastery stuff. Whoa, yeah, look at this. Whoa. All right, and today is day one. And what I'm going to be sharing with you are something that I call emotional mastery principles. There are things that I've developed and collected and borrowed from and been inspired to share from teachers of mine and everything, that if you will only learn them, apply them in any situation you can, and most importantly, remember them. So remember them and remember to apply them. They can really, really help you move the needle and get really centered and start developing and cultivating an experience of emotional mastery. Now, it says 28 days to emotional mastery, but let's face it, 28 days to emotional mastery is pretty high promise, right? But I got to tell you, if you will actually take each one of these, implement them in your life, and start working with them, then they will absolutely move the needle and help you take things less personally, help you relate with others better, including your spouse, your children, all this stuff. I have a 9 turning 10-year-old, and my goodness, what an excellent opportunity for me to experience and expose myself to continue to develop a higher and higher degree of emotional mastery. You know what I'm saying? Man, parenting is a great personal development seminar that goes on pretty much for life if you will only let it. So let's move on. Today's emotional mastery principle, I just call them EMPs for short. So EMP1 was inspired by the great relationship coach and teacher Allison Armstrong. If you haven't been exposed to her work and you're looking for a relationship material, by all means, check her stuff out. She asks the question, what if nobody is misbehaving, including you? What if nobody is misbehaving, including you? Now, to translate that into the emotional mastery principles, EMPs are always written or stated in the first person tense. Okay, so in our case, ours goes, nobody is misbehaving, not even me. All right. So something happens, something upsets you, and bam, it gives you that opportunity to give a little bit of a reset. Right. So, back in 2005 for me, I spun into the darkest place I couldn't even imagine getting to, quite frankly. I was diagnosed with clinical depression and was able to climb my way out of it without the use of pharmaceuticals, right? And it was it was a very difficult time. Lots of things seemed to happen all in very short order. My father passed away suddenly. My financial backer for a wellness center that I was building here in Calgary pulled out last minute while I was down at a seminar in Las Vegas, backed out. And so I lost the lease. Another medical group took it. And anyways, it got under my skin. And another thing that happened was very same weekend, the gal that I had been dating for a couple of years or so, that I was kind of gaga over at the time, beautiful, wonderful gal. Well, turns out she was seeing somebody else at the same time as seeing me. And when I found that out, it just crushed everything. And then there's another thing that happened at the seminar that just got in, and just like everything seemed to lump on top of me and really just broke my resolve. And I just spiraled down. I thought I was misbehaving. I thought she was misbehaving. I thought they were misbehaving. And you'll notice that all of those things are based in blame. Okay. And if you are to develop a degree of emotional mastery, there just can't be blame. There's no room for blame, even with yourself. So it's like, when we have bad things happen to us, we have some choices, right? And what we call bad things happen to us. But let's say we collect our bad experiences. Like, let's say you're wearing a big old backpack and like, when there's a story that says when you're bad, if you've been bad, Santa won't bring you gifts. He'll bring you a lump of coal, right? He'll bring you a lump of coal. And so imagine taking these lump of coals and you store them, you put them in your backpack, and you do this through your whole entire life, right? So if you collect your if you keep collecting these lumps of coal and put them in your backpack, eventually, that backpack starts to get heavy, right? Makes it hard to maneuver in your life. So imagine this just keeps going and going and going, and for some reason you won't just put it down. You keep it with you, and you keep it with you, and that thing gets heavier and heavier, right? As we hold on to blame things and just refuse, neglect, or fail to find a way to resolve them and let go of those things, well, over time it's going to get heavy, right? And over time it's going to wear you down to the point where maybe you can't even move. You feel stuck. All right. Now, what we need is some way to actually let go of those things. I wrote a small book called The Myth of Letting Go that I still have on deepissuemassage.com. But in that book, I talk about fridges and magnets. Okay, fridges and magnets. And what's the relationship with fridges and magnets and letting go? Well, in short, you notice that most magnets that you put on the fridge, you can easily pull off, right? And do something else with them, right? Well, that's great, right? It's kind of like bad experiences, right? Thoughts that we don't really want. They stick on to us, it appears, and with enough, if you want, you can take it off and let it go. But then you might do an upscale. You might use like an earth magnet. If you ever worked with earth magnets, you'll know like there can be really little and like super strong. So you put one of those on the fridge, and you better watch out that your fingers aren't too close because it'll like slap down onto there, right? And those suckers can be really, really hard to get off. Okay, but it's possible, right? With a little bit different strategy, you can pull it off to the top of the fridge and just pull it off the edge. That works really, really well, right? So it takes more effort and it takes a different it takes a different strategy to do that. But then there are things like electromagnets. Like if you had somebody put an electromagnet on your fridge and you didn't know where the source of that electromagnet was coming from, there is no way that you're going to get that thing off, right? It's why they use the electromagnet, locks in downtown and anywhere that there's a secure environment. You have to come up with the key fob, put it on there, boop, it turns off the magnet, you can open the door. But if there's electricity rolling through that magnet, there is no way that you're going to be able to pull that door open, no matter how hard you try. Okay? And some of our beliefs are the same way. And we need to be able to identify the source and turn that thing off so that magnet will just fall away. All right. So with that being said, that is why, like yesterday when I went through the journey of the fulfilled human, one of the first milestones that we talked about after making a decision was clarity, getting clear of things, right? Getting clear on things. We want to get clear of things that are holding us back. And we also want to get clear on where it is that we're headed in our world. So that's why I'm starting in February 18th, I've constructed a 6-week program that we're going to be walking a little group of people through. It's called the Clarity Accelerator. Clarity Accelerator. So if you just go to clarityaccelerator.com, if this sounds interesting to you, you can by all means just click through the things. And what's going to happen is you and I will end up on a phone call after you just go through some of the questions and make sure that it's a good fit for you. So clarityaccelerator.com. This is going to be starting once again February 18th, and we're going to run it for every Monday night for 6 weeks. And I'm going to teach it live, right? I'm going to teach it live. We're always going to get on a video conferencing system privately. This is only going to be for a very small group of people. And we are going to unpack how to find those things. I'm going to bring my best, most current work, and I'm going to offer it to that group of people over those 6 weeks. So if that sounds like any interest to you, by all means, check it out at clarityaccelerator.com. If it doesn't appeal to you, that's all good. No problem. No harm, no foul. I'm still going to give you these 28 EMPs, emotional mastery principles, which I'm going to encourage you to apply. So today's emotional mastery principle is nobody is misbehaving, not even me. Nobody is misbehaving, not even me. And if we want to take that further, if you want a little bit further understanding, understand that everybody out there is trying to get their needs met one way or another. Okay? Everybody's just trying to get their needs met. So we might perceive it. You might perceive something that someone else is doing as misbehaving, but that will come from your own rigid belief system. But when you begin to understand it at a deeper level, that everybody's just trying to get their needs met, then provide you and the other party are willing, things can really shift and shift in a really healthy and wonderful way. Okay? I think that's a wrap for day 1 of 28 days to emotional mastery. And once again, if you're interested in the Clarity Accelerator program, go to clarityaccelerator.com, check it out, follow the 3 things, and let's get on the phone. Let's have a little chat and see if there's a good fit. No charge for that call or anything like that. It's just going to be, hey, let's see if this is a good fit for you. All right. With that, happy Friday, everybody. What else? Hi, Kai. This is my son. You want to say hi? Come on. Oh, that's the top of his head. This is my son, Kai. All right, everybody. I better get out of here. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow.